Yo, UFO table, take a bow. Just take a bow. Okay, is it UFO or UFO? Whatever. The point is, just take a bow because they are UFO table is the king of animation right now. Okay, like yo, even if Kimetsu no Yaiba or Demon Slayer for the English version, even if Demon Slayer ends up not taking the crown of anime of the year. Yo, they've definitely taken anime episode of the season. Okay, this episode 19 is like, it's the pinnacle of animation. Yo, it's what every animation studio, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, should be aiming towards. Okay, if you're not aiming for that, like I don't know why you're in. Like it's just, oh my god, it is so good. Like, oh my god, look, this episode was so good that it actually trended on Twitter. On American Twitter for like a whole day. Yo, it got someone like Ninja actually talking about this thing. Yo, Ninja was talking about Kimetsu no Yaiba, alright? Okay, first of all, just disclaimer, anytime I say Kimetsu no Yaiba, I mean Demon Slayer. I watch sub, so I have a habit of, using the Japanese name instead of, the English name. So when I say Kimetsu no Yaiba, just know I mean Demon Slayer. Okay, let's just get out of the way. Okay, so this, like I was saying, this thing, it trended so much that the whole world was talking about it. Okay, that's how good this episode was. And how did this happen? It's just a combination of exquisite animation from UFO Table, the story itself, Kimetsu no Yaiba's story, and also what I like to call just hype music. When the music on OST usually an ending or opening song, when it combines it with a scene in an anime with a very hype scene, it just produces badass, unforgettable moments. Okay, like I can think of, if you watch Gurren Lagann, okay, kind of like Soraro days in Gurren Lagann that they used towards the end, at the end of the show, like stuff like that. It was the music accompanying the scene, the animation, everything was just. The combination was perfect. Okay, thinking about it, I might release a video. A video compilation of my best, anime song hype moments. Okay, when they use a song from either an opening or ending of an anime to hype up a moment. I think I'll release a couple, maybe next week or so. Because I just watch this. I had memories building up. Okay, return to some very hype moments in anime. Okay, yeah, but that's not. Listen, I could sit here and praise this anime for like days, just non-stop. Okay, but you know what? Let's move on. Let me talk about what actually happened in this episode. Okay, so this episode starts off with Kimetsu no Yaiba episode 19 starts off with Inosuke and Tanjiro. All right. So what happened is they're facing off against Father Spider. Okay, the big dude, all muscles and everything, and. Inosuke is literally the funniest person I have seen in anime this whole year. Like, I've watched a lot of anime this year and actually movies and stuff, and I've had very few things that made me actually laugh out loud, like just ball out laughing, the whole stomach, belly aching and everything. Yeah. Yo, Inosuke he's a great character. Okay, so what happens is Tanjiro and Inosuke are separated through what I'll call, force of nature, right? Tanjiro takes an entire tree to the face, gets sent flying over the forest, and Inosuke has to face Father Spider alone. And what happens is, Inosuke, when he faces Father Spider, he realizes that, he can't fight this guy because Father Spider is way too strong and he's about to crush this dude like into paste and everything. And so Inosuke begins to run away. He begins to give up. He's running away. And one thing I love about animes like this is they make sure that the comic relief characters don't just remain one dimensional. Okay, they're not just comic relief. They add a little bit of a layer to them. So what happened with Inosuke is while he's running, he realizes that he starts remembering Tanjiro. He remembers Zenitsu. He remembers the old lady at the bath and everything. How to live with pride. And then he realizes that my motto, my creed is to face everything head on. Okay, so his motto is to face his challenges head on instead of running away. Now, initially, Inosuke runs away, right? Because he's afraid of the Father Spider and everything. He doesn't want to have anything to do with this dude. So he's running away because he's scared. Okay, but what happens is he starts remembering Tanjiro. He remembers Zenitsu. He remembers the lady from the inn. The little lady from the inn. And he remembers how she talks about living with pride. Okay, and he recalls that his own belief and his motto is to face his challenges head on. Okay, he's not someone that runs away from something that scares him. Okay, and because of that, it it motivates him to take that extra step, to turn back the way he turned back and just chase down, Father Spider. And he chases this guy down and manages to cut off his arm in what is the most Inosuke way possible. Okay, he takes his first sword, because initially the sword can cut through this dude's arm. So what he does is he took the first sword, slammed it into the arm, and then takes the second sword and just kind of hammers in it all the way through, just to slice this guy's hand off. And because it's Inosuke, it's a funny scene, okay, but at the same time it's very moving, because the main things in life for a lot of us, we have challenges we face every day, and we don't know, sometimes we feel like we want to run away from them, but this shows that it pays off to kind of face your fears head on. Okay, every now and then, just muster up the courage, face your fears head on. You'd be surprised by what they can achieve. Okay, and I really admire that moment with him. But because Inosuke, as I said, you can't have this moment of deepness without something just immensely stupid following it. Okay, so after he cuts this dude's hands off, he goes on to start shouting. Okay, while he spends the next couple of minutes, next couple of seconds, basically laughing instead of, finishing the job and going for his neck, I don't know, it's good it gets yours as it is mine, because I have no idea why he did that. But because of that, Father Spider has enough time to run away and, try to get himself back. So Father Spider runs away, he climbs up a tree and sheds his skin, becomes Ultimate Spider, basically. He becomes this very buff, his skin is basically impenetrable now, and he beats the living hell out of Inosuke, okay? And he's about to finish him off, and Inosuke thinks he's gonna die. Then our boy Giyu just runs in and slices this Father Spider into bits, like millions of tiny bits, and he's dead, okay? And we have... I love Inosuke, because the next thing that happens is, instead of Inosuke to be like, oh, thank you, Inosuke he just worshiping Giyu immediately. He's like, oh my god, this is the coolest guy I've ever seen. He's the strongest man I've ever seen. He's the coolest. And you think that after all this praise, he's probably gonna be like, yo, I want to learn another year or something. No. Inosuke does the most Inosuke thing possible, and he just charges right out. He just challenges Giyu straight to a fight right there. Like, yo, I want to fight you, okay? You defeated this spider, this is who I couldn't defeat. So if I fight you and defeat you, I'm the strongest. And I just love how he brought out the meme in Giyu, okay? Because first of all, Giyu is a character who's is this serious dude kind of character, okay? He doesn't joke around or stuff like that. But his face when Inosuke confronts him it's hilarious, okay? And then, because of that, because Giyu doesn't want to deal with any of Inosuke's bullcrap, he just kind of ties the dude up in a tree and leaves him there. So after that, it wasn't exactly a clean cut, because they were kind of intertwined in each other's scenes, but I want to talk about them separately. So let's just say we move on to Tanjiro, fighting the little brother Spider and his sister who was nearby, okay? So he listens up to them, and the little brother is basically talking about how he's, I'm going to call it Spider-kun, okay? So Spider-kun is basically talking about how he's angry with his sister because she's not fulfilling her role as a sister correctly, okay? And he's talking about how bonds are, caused by blood, okay? Because he gave them his blood, and so they're not his family. And he's talking about how, if you're not bonded by blood, then your bond is trivial. And Tanjiro makes it very clear that that's not the case, okay? Because you can have some of the strongest bonds you have in your life might not be with someone who's related to you by blood, okay? So that doesn't really flow at all. That logic is flawed. And then he points out how Spider-kun's family is basically fake, because the entire bond is based on fear instead of love, okay? It's based on fear instead of self-sacrifice. It's based on loathing instead of benevolence. So because of that, it's not a real bond relationship. And when Spider-kun hears this, he loses his shit. Okay, so he's coming for Tanjiro with the intention to kill, and when he does this, Nezuko comes out and risks her life to save Tanjiro. And in the process, Nezuko gets injured, seriously injured, and Tanjiro has to go save her. And this Spider Queen is like, oh my god, I want that. I want that sibling. I want a sister who will risk her life for me. And he misses the entire plot. He's like, I don't know what it is, but he's so stupid, okay? Because he misses the reason why Nezuko did that for Tanjiro, okay? He's like, I'm going to force Nezuko to be my sister, and thinking that if he does that, then she'll also do the same thing for him, okay? And it's like, that doesn't make any sense, because if you force her to work for you, she's just gonna treat you the same way your current elder spider sister treats you, okay? It's not gonna be with it's not gonna be love, it's gonna be fear, or it's gonna be submission, all right? And that's not the true bond that he was looking for. So he's not really right in the head, as you'd expect from a demon like that, but whatever. Okay, so he decides, okay, I want to make Nezuko my sister. So he basically traps her in a web of thin wires, which are very sharp and can cut you into pieces in like a second. And Tanjiro tries to save her, so he runs at him and he gets his sword broken in the process. Okay, he tries to cut the thread and it just snaps his sword right off. Okay, because the thread is so hard. And that's when we see also that his sword, even after it got broken, he tried to get up close to Spider-Kun, okay? But in the process, we find out that even Spider-Kun's body is stronger than his thread. So that means that, Tanjiro can't cut it, okay? So then Tanjiro begins, what follows next is 5 minutes of what I can only call the best animation I've seen all year, in a few years actually, hands down, okay? And it harkens back to, Fate Stay Unlimited Blade Works, okay? That's how far back I think of animation that just this smooth and this dynamic, okay? Because the last 5 or so minutes of this episode is just, it's just beautiful, okay? So Tanjiro, first of all, Tanjiro unleashes the 10th form of the water breathing technique, okay? Which is basically someone's like a water dragon. And with that, he's able to cut through the threads, okay? To get up close to our dude to finish him off. And to Spider-Kun to finish him off. But problem is though that this is never that easy, because Spider-Kun just reveals that the threads will not have full power the entire time. So he turns red, his hands turn red, the threads turn red too. And because of that, the thread's power kind of like triples or whatever. And Tanjiro realizes that he can't cut through the threads because they all surround him like a massive web and they're just coming in to crush him in the center. And Tanjiro is like, okay, I can't cut this, I'm gonna die. And that's when we have a quick flashback to Tanjiro as a kid with his father. And this is where I had to take a bit of humble pie, because initially I really assumed that Tanjiro had to have some other, maybe a bit of demon blood or something special about him. And I found out in this episode that it's because of his heritage, because I'm pretty sure there's something special about his heritage, because his father is this fire dancer kind of dude, and that dance turns out it's awesome breathing technique, okay? And it will explain why Tanjiro has his heightened senses, because from the beginning of the anime we always felt that Tanjiro is different, because the anime even opens up with him carrying this massive load that a child shouldn't be able to hold. In fact, most normal people can't hold it, okay? So he has extra strength, extra speed, extra durability, he has sharpened senses. So I knew there had to be something about this kid that was different. And now we have a bit of an insight. So probably he comes from a clan of people who have been blessed or something, and they all have this heightened ability, because his father had it too, and his father taught him to dance. And what happened was, there's this beautiful arc as he just brings out this flame. He switches to the flaming technique, okay, and he just brings out his dragon. The water dragon turns into like a fire dragon instead, and it just burns the hell out of all the threads, yo. So I don't know if the fire technique is stronger than the water technique, or if it's just more suited to this particular battle. I'm not sure yet. But that might also explain why his sword was black instead of red or blue or whatever, because it's, as I said, the color of your sword usually pertains to the element. And I think black probably is a neutral element, so probably because you can use both water and fire. the sword picked a neutral element. So now we have an answer to that question. I think I could be wrong. We might get that in the next episodes when he has to get a new sword. We might get an answer to that. So basically, what Tanjiro does is he takes his fire sword and he just cuts through all the threads, and then he rushes at Spider-Kun. All right, and while he's about to get the Spider-Kun retaliates. Okay, he kind of counters the move with his threads, and the essential idea is he's gonna cut this dude down to save his sister, even if he also gets caught by the thread in the process. And while that's happening, we see Nezuko has a kind of like a dream of her mother. Okay, her mother comes up and like, Nezuko, you have to save her brother. It's a touching scene, and then Nezuko just wakes up and she uses her blood demon art, which is exploding blood, which is just dope. Like it's dope, but at the same time it's kind of weird because that means that she has to bleed for her powers to work, but whatever. Okay, her power is to explode her blood. That's her own demon art, and when she does that, the beautiful explosion and just wipes out all the threads. Okay, allowing Tanjiro room to get in close to cut Spider-Kun's neck. All right, but here's a beautiful touch that I love. The blood, his sister's blood was on his sword, and when the blood ignited, it created like this massive flaming sword, and that's what he used to finish off the neck. Now, I just love it. Okay, it was so good. This is what animation should be. Okay, the music in this scene was just. No, I don't know what words to use. You have to watch it to understand. Okay, the only other anime this season I feel might contend with Kimetsu no Yaiba for anime of this year is probably Vinland Saga. I feel like Vinland Saga has a lot of good fighting scenes, which might come up later. Okay, and if they get the music right, if they get the animation right, they could give Kimetsu no Yaiba a run for his money. But I'm just saying, this episode so far is the episode of the season, episode of the year so far. It's good. Okay, it's good. I love it. I honestly love it, and I hope you do too. I hope you watch it. If you love this episode, let me know what you think in the comments. Okay, if you didn't, let me know. Let me know what did you love? What did you love most about this animation so far? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like. Smash the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so that you get notifications, you get told when I'm uploading a video. All right, and if you love to read novels and manga and stuff like that, check me out on Renoe K at Wattpad. To read my novel Parallel. I think you might love it if you enjoy the novels. All right, this is Ren signing out. Bye.